Alastair, thank you for making time for us on your Wednesday morning. What about Naoto Kan? Here we go. We have a new cabinet, a new prime minister. I mean, is anything going to change this time around?
Well, I think we have to be cautious about saying we've got a new cabinet because, of course, obviously we've seen a lot of familiar faces in their former posts. What we're seeing, I think, is a pre-election cabinet, pre-election window dressing going on here. I was very interested in the clip you were just showing. The camera zoomed in on Renko-san, goes by one name only, a young woman who's administrative reform minister now, trying to revamp the image of the party in much the way that it was looking before last year's Diet elections, looking to try to secure that overall majority in the upper house on, presumably, as your reporter was saying, the 11th of July. I think we're basically going to be in pre-election mode all the way through till then now. Diet will probably wrap up its business on 16 June. We will probably see privatisation of the post office pushed back in the legislative programme before then in order to keep the New People's Party on board for the election. I think we need to wait until after that Senate election, then we may see some shifts.
Yes, right. The former TV presenter Renho, as you were pointing out, she is one of the new ministers in the cabinet. But, you know, even with this glamour infusion, with a new lineup and, you know, the separation really in the DPJ away from Ozawa, is this enough for the DPJ to win these upper house elections coming up?
I think they're going to struggle. I mean, probably the biggest advantage they've got is that the LDP really has not recovered from the shock of defeat in the Diet elections last year. So it's going to be interesting to see if the smaller parties benefit. At the moment, I would say that the odds are probably against DPJ winning that simple majority in the upper house. And I'm just wondering if once we get that election out of the way, keeping in mind that DPJ will likely continue to be dependent on external support for a majority in the upper house, I'm wondering if we might see some shifting around of coalition partners, because it wouldn't surprise me at all to see Prime Minister Kan looking to move his party back to a more centrist position on economic policy, away from its left-leaning stance, especially if he can actually shed Ozawa's influence.
Oh, and Alastair, let me just ask you, we have, you know, Naoto Kan, the new Prime Minister, making a speech in the Diet this Friday. In fact, I think it's his first official one. What are you watching out for? What do you think he might say here?
I think it's going to be very much in pre-election mode. I think he's going to be talking about how this is a young party, a new government, looking to modernise Japan, looking to revamp Japanese politics, wrest the balance of power away from the bureaucracy, more towards the political establishment, and stressing very much his messages, which we heard from him yesterday, about rebuilding Japan's economy, about fiscal consolidation in the medium term. But I don't expect him to say anything dramatic which is likely to scare voters. In fact, quite the contrary, he's going to be looking to reassure the voters who went out and voted so massively for DPJ last year.
Yeah, Alastair, quickly, 40 seconds here, but is Naoto Kan, is the DPJ party the party to tackle this huge fiscal deficit in Japan?
Well, I think it's going to be a task for more than one government, probably more than 2 or 3 governments. Clearly, the LDP has had its chance. It really hasn't dealt with this problem over the past 20 years. It is getting to the point now where something urgently has to be done. I have to say, myself, I'm a bit of a sneaking admirer of Prime Minister Kan. He did a doughty job as health minister in the 1990s, but we shouldn't raise our expectations too high. Let's keep in mind, Japan remains an extremely prosperous country. It is the world's second biggest economy. Tokyo is humming these days, and things are not as bad as the data sometimes lets us believe. And of course, Japan can continue to borrow because its domestic savers will continue to invest in Japanese government bonds.
Okay, it's okay to be a fan, Alastair. Thank you for your time. Alastair Newton, Managing Director and Senior Political Analyst at Nomura